Namaste to everyone. In the last two classes, we have discussed about the concept of the culture. In this class also, we are going to continue the concept of culture. In the first part, that is in the first lesson, we have learnt about the definition, meaning, scope of culture and main features of the culture in the first part. In the part 2, that is lesson 2, we have learnt about the elements of culture and main features of the culture. In this lesson, presently, we are going to learn about the important concepts related to culture and the components of the culture and the misconception of the culture. These are some of the units we are going to discuss in this class. And I wanted to mention in this class that the units of ethnocentrism and culture relativism is too lengthy to accommodate in this class. So I have bifurcated those two units in a separate class for teaching. In the same way, enculturation and acculturation also I am taking in a separate class because it needs a lengthy discussion, because if you can able to understand these concepts, it is easy to follow anthropology. So that is why I am going to discuss with you in detail for better understanding of the concepts of anthropology. Now let us start with the third unit, that is the third part of our lesson about the culture. In the last two classes, we were discussing about the culture meaning, scope and definitions of different anthropologies, and also we have discussed about the elements of the culture, main features of the culture. From all these, we learned that culture is being equivalent to the entire learned and shared behaviors, beliefs, practices, institutions of a society or a group of people. All the material and non-material objects created and used by the group is culture. Here you should keep it in mind that as a man, as a member of the society, the creation is very important and using of that artifacts also is very important. So here all the material and non-material objects created and used by the group is culture. Anything apart from the naturally or biologically occurring thing is cultural. I think non-biological aspects are considered as culture. However, this encompassing view culture should be viewed cautiously because it may mislead beginners to assume that society itself is a culture. So we must be very careful in understanding the culture, as though society and culture both sides of the coin, but we should not mistake culture is same as society, society is same as culture. Of course, society cannot exist without culture, culture cannot exist without society. So we should understand and we should understand the limitations of each concept of society and culture. Now let us learn about the main components of the culture. What are the main components of the culture? For the sake of anthropological analysis, culture may be broken down into three main component parts. They are cultural trait, cultural complex and cultural pattern. So we can make for our understanding the culture into three main components, that is cultural trait, complex and cultural pattern. Now let us look into each aspect of these components. A culture is more than the sum of its parts, a mere listing of customs and norms, and the material objects associated with them would by no means give a true picture of the culture. So culture cannot give a true picture of customs and norms and material objects associated with it. But let us look into in-depth analysis of these cultural components. Now let us look into the cultural trait. What is a cultural trait? Cultural trait are the smallest or simplest unit of culture. They are the building blocks of culture. It can be material, non-material culture. For example, the pen which you are observing here is a culture. The car is a culture. Computer or the glasses which you are using, and the box, the flask which you are using, the scissor which you are using, all comes under the material culture. Then let us look into the non-material culture. Greeting, namaste, good morning, hello, how are you? These are some of the greetings. And the customs of eating food, different ways of eating the food. Some people will eat with the hand, some people use a fork, different type of things. Then paying respect to the elders. Elders means parents, grandparents and gurus. How you will be paying the respect. And the practice of doing rituals. How you are observing your rituals. And how you are praying your gods. And different type of sports and games playing. All these things comes under non-material culture. Here we should go in depth into the what is a trait means, to my understanding, trait is the smallest unit of a culture. That is what I believe and I am teaching. Say for example, you take this coat. The button is the smallest trait in this coat. And the collar, the type of collar he has made is a trait. And different traits, the pockets and other things which have been made, the material which has been made is all comes under a trait. So putting together it will become a jacket. Then we call as a culture. This is a part of a culture which reflects on a Hindu way of wearing a jacket. Understand? So cultural trait is a one smallest unit of a culture. For example, you take another example I wanted to give you is you can take this national flag. National flag. Here different colors and Ashoka wheel and all these put together, the colors and other things, each having a symbolic value. It differs symbolically is a different one to another colors and the emblem of Ashoka. This together put together reflects culture. Each unit of color is a trait. All the traits put together, it gives a meaning that is a national flag of India. That is what you have to understand about cultural trait. Then another unit is a culture complex. When a number of culture traits or elements are fitted or combined together, they give a meaningful whole called culture complex. Culture complex is integrated and a patterned system of cultural traits that function as a unit in a society. It is sometimes referred to as a cultural trait complex. Here, which you have to understand that culture complex is a union of different cultural traits putting together. Here in a society, different traits, different functions of a society. For example, you take family, marriage, kinship, all these things together form one culture. So all these things put together and as a unit we can call as a culture complex. So you should consider that culture complex is a combination of different cultural traits. That is, in the larger sense I am telling, not as I have used the shirt as an example for trait. Here you have to think about the society where family, marriage, kinship, death rituals, a different type of aspects also comes under one unit as a cultural complex. That unit is a cultural pattern. Cultural pattern is the organization of a culture complexes constituting the entire cultural configuration of a society. So this is very important. It is a cultural pattern is an organization of a cultural complex, that is different complexes put together constituting the entire cultural configuration about the entire culture of a society or a some population. It brings about it tells about the culture of a cultural pattern. Here the best example I wanted to give you is the traditional emotional beliefs and practices. What are the traditional emotional belief and practices in a society? For example, you take Tamil Nadu as a unit of a cultural pattern. They follow as though they are different religious and cultures, but as a unit they follow as a cultural pattern. The best example is Jallikattu in Tamil Nadu, where the bulls run in a festival days on a Pongal ceremony or a Pongal festival. They celebrate the worshipping of cows and bulls, a bull fight. All these things, in Tamil Nadu they fight for this. Legally they have fought for it because it is a cultural pattern of a Tamil people, Tamil culture. So you should not mistake the cultural trait, cultural complex and cultural pattern. Pattern is different from complex and trait. Of course, all these put together only cultural pattern will be coming. Then another best example I want to give is cockfight in Andhra Pradesh. In Sankranti festival days, especially in the central Andhra Pradesh, East Godavari, West Godavari, in these regions, cockfight is one of the best example. All the Telugu culture, Telugu people's emotional attachment with the cockfight is associated from ages. So these are some of the best examples we can give the cultural complex, cultural traits and cultural pattern. So cultural pattern is you can consider that the entire Telugu people or entire Tamil people invariably about their caste, religion, all of them will participate and perform this ceremony. So I think you have understand the components of the culture. Now let us look into the details of it. If you analyze this, we can able to understand culture trait are not necessarily confined to a single culture. More than one culture system may exhibit a particular cultural trait, but each will consist of discrete combination of traits. Such as combination is referred to as culture complex. For example, in many cultures, the herding of a cattle is a trait. That, however, cattle are regarded as used in different ways of different cultures. I think we are all have the cattle as a for agriculture and also for milk products. So, is that one of the best examples? But the Todas who are inhabiting in Nilgiri hills of Tamil Nadu could be good example for this. Although the Toda tribal culture complex is only one of the many cattle keeping complexes, no other culture complex exhibit exactly the same combination of traits as that of Toda tribe. The culture complex have traits in common, and so it is possible to group within complexes together as a cultural system. Ethnicity, language, religion, medical beliefs and practices, marriage and family system, political organization and economic activities, etc. are can be considered as a cultural complexes. All make up the cultural system of a given society or a country like India, Indonesia, Thailand, etc. are the best examples. Here I wanted to tell you that most of the Hindu communities or Indian people who are living in India, still we are believing ethno-medicinal practices. You consider in the aboriginal populations, still they are practicing their own way of medical practices, that is called as ethno-medicine. And another example I want to give you is marriage systems. I have observed in my research there are different forms of marriages, especially among the aborigines. I have observed 8 types of marriages system exist among the tribals. There is by marriage by negotiation, marriage by love, marriage by elopement, marriage by intrusion, marriage by force, or marriage by service. All some of the examples which comes under cultural complex of marriage systems. And another example which I want to give you, family systems and kinship system. Family, nuclear family, joint family, extended family, polyandrous families, polygynous families are some of the best examples for this. And another important one which I wanted to mention is the based on the substance of economy. Based on the substance of economy also, in my studies, in my reports, I have mentioned that the human cultural evolution can be classified into different categories based on the substance of economy. They are food gathering, hunting societies, fishing societies, horticultural societies, agricultural societies, industrial societies, and information technology societies. So all these economy of these societies are depending on the occupation and the subsistence which they are making. That is why very important. So all these are comes under cultural complexes. So we should not mistake that one to another. So you must always think what is culture, what is non-culture, material culture, non-material culture, cultural trait, cultural complex, and cultural pattern. All are these important concepts of culture. Now let us learn the important concepts related to culture. I have noted 10 related concepts of culture. Now let us say one by one in a brief way. What are they? They are culture region, culture at different levels, cultural as universal, generalized culture, localized cultures, subcultures, Amish ethnic group, multi-ethnic culture, language and culture, and cultural shock. These are some of the identified important concepts of culture. Now let us look into it, each aspect of culture briefly. Culture as a region. Social and cultural anthropologists talk about culture region, which is the geographical territory in which a particular culture prevails. It is marked by all the characteristics of a culture, including modes of dress, buildings, styles, forms, and field and other material manifestations. See here, it is a cultural region means it is a regional culture. Takes for example in Tamil Nadu, the dress pattern is totally different from North India. North Indian dress is different from South India. The Kerala Malayali dress is different from Andhra dress. The language is also different. So here you can see the houses construction also will be different. The door styles will be different from one another. So we can able to identify based on the dress pattern, hairstyles, language, and also The way of behaving also we can say that which cultural region he is belonging. So culture is also regional. Culture at different levels, which also refers different levels, means is a national culture, international culture, cultural as universal, biological universal, psychological universal, and social universals. Let us look into each aspect independently what it says. National culture. National culture refers to experiences, ideologies, and beliefs learned and values shared by citizens of the same nation. The term national culture may be seen misleading. A more appropriate term may thus be the mainstream or dominant culture, which is more or less subscribed to my multiplicity of groups in a given country. Here, national culture. What is the national culture? In India, we are Hindus, majority of them, apart from the Christians and Muslims. But India means Hindustan. Hindustan means it refers India, Hindu culture only, mainly. Either they are different castes or whatever it may be, it forms one culture. For example, the celebration of Dasara, holy festival, and Deepavali are some of the festivals which will be celebrating entire nation. National holidays we will be celebrating. So here we should understand that national level, regional level, and local level. Understand that village level, difference culture, and regional level, state level, and national level. In India we have different languages of our own, different cultures, as though we have different languages, but together we have one type of culture, that is we call as a Hindu culture. We follow Hindu calendar for our festivals, rituals, and different type of ceremonies performing. Then international culture. What is international culture? International culture refers to cultural traditions that extend beyond national boundaries through borrowing diffusion. Diffusion is a different type of aspect of culture that we will be discussing in a separate class, separate unit of study. Again, here the term international culture may seem misleading. So, a mere academic term may be global culture. I think now we are emerged into the global culture. We doesn't have any limitations presently. We are going for performing the global ceremonies, global functions, global activities also. One of the main aspects of globalization is that a relatively uniform world culture is taking shape today in the world. The global culture or entail all speaking the same language, share the same value and norms, and sustain common and of knowledge as of residents of the same community. Global culture may also be associated with cultural imperialism, the unequal cultural exchange in the global system, whereby Western material and non-material cultures have come to occupy a dominating and imposing roles over the indigenous cultures of the third world people. The global culture is often promoted by the global spread of capitalism, consumerism and consumer culture, the growth of transnational media, particularly electronic mass media such as BBC, CNN, Doordarshan and different type of cultural medias. Here I wanted to highlight that global cultures. See, for example, you take McDonald's, the food culture has emerged, Subway, and the dress patterns, different type of products made by the different multinational companies, especially the branded which has emerged internationally from all over the world, and uniformly you are adopting the dress pattern, food pattern also changing at a faster rate. So these are the global cultures, how the global cultures is going at a faster rate, how the diffusion rate is increasing. All these things will come under the global culture. Another is cultural as universals. Anthropology assumes that all human beings are fundamentally alike and they share the same basic biological, psychological, social, and other characteristics. All people all over the world have certain common obligations one to another. All people are members of a single community. They have all have the same root and destiny. Their belief is either explicit or implicit in most of the great world of religions. The perception of famous statement of the American anthropologist Clyde Kluckholm suggests that is truth. Every human is like all the humans, some other humans, and no other humans, quoted by Clyde Kluckholm. Certain biological, psychological, social, and cultural features of human beings are universal. Others are mere generalities, common to serve, but not to all human groups. Still, other cultures' features are particularities unique to certain cultural traditions. Here, in this connection, I wanted to mention human evolution, how human population is evolved and spread over all over the world. Spencer Wells' document on journey of man tells us we are all originated from the Bushmen of Africa. Over a period of time that it took 40 million years to make the journey and to reach all the places all over the world by the man. And different people have settled in different altitudes and different geographical regions. Based on the climatic conditions, environmental conditions, the people, their height, the complexion, the eyes, nose, and height has been adopted according to the environmental conditions where they are living. For example, the Paramalai colors of Madurai have the origin or genetical inheritance from the Bushmen of Africa. That is one of the best example given by Spencer Wells in his study, The Journey of Man. And we will be discussing on the journey of man in detail in one of the lectures of physical anthropology, how man has evolved. So here, why I want to giving this example, as though we are originated from one human being, evolutionary, but we have a different way of cultures. Over a period of time it has been changed based on the economy, subsistence, ecology, environmental conditions. We have adapted to the particular way of life to lead. So that is what which I wanted to bring here is what is culture as universal. As though we are different, but we have dependency on one another for different aspects of way of life. Another unit is biological as a universals. Long period of infant dependency. See, infant dependency is important. The child rearing, bringing of the child is not that much easy. It takes long time, 5 to 7 years, 10 years also sometimes. Year-round sexuality, sexual needs, satisfaction. Biological universality, that is a long period of infant dependency, year-round sexuality, a complex brain that enable to use symbols, languages, tools, etc. Whether modern or primitive, all people share these universal biological features. That means, rearing of children, that is infants, from birth to 6th or 7th years age, till the breastfeeding is there, we will be taking care of the infants. Then sexual satisfaction all round the year. both for male and female sexual satisfaction, and dependency on the children on the parents is another important one. Then use of different type of symbols, and language is a very important one, language learning and language speaking. Then different type of tools which we will be using and its usage, etc. All the people share these universal biological features universally. Then psychological universals arise from the human biology and from experiences common to human development. In all cases, growth in the womb, birth interactions with parents, etc., comes on psychological universals. So here you can say human development in the case of growth, that is when you are pregnant, how the child is going, that is psychological experiences. And birth of a child, interactions with the parents of a child, how the parents feels about the birth of the child are important aspects as psychological as universal. It is a universal culture psychologically, not only for one country, one population feels that enjoyment of psychological cultural enjoyment, but every society, every individual have that feelings. Birth of a child, birth of a any culture or interaction with the parents is a very important aspect of culture. Then social as universal, life in groups, family, food sharing, exogamy, incest taboo, etc. For example, all people prohibit sexual contact or marriage between individuals with close blood relations. It is regarded as a taboo, that is something unmentionable or forbidden to touch or talk about. So social universal is a very important aspect in especially in Hindu communities. Hinduism, we have the castes, tribes, and other populations which has been divided into castes and tribes. For example, in Hinduism, caste system exists. Among the castes, we have the clans, gotras. With marrying within the gotra is prohibited. They are considered as a brothers and sister. Clan exogamy doesn't exist. Tribes have different clans. Within the clan, marrying is not allowed. They consider the members of the clan as brothers and sisters. One has to marry outside the clan. The same system exists in the caste population also. For example, you take my caste. I belong to a Kamma caste, but we have different type of gotras and clans. We cannot marry within the same clan and within the same gotra. I have to marry the other gotra or other clan. So that is the norm and conditions of a caste. So social as universals, this is the commonly prohibited, and we are not allowed to have sex within the same clan groups. We can go outside sex. The sex taboos are there, and we have certain values and marriage rituals performed. It varies from one to another. So these are the some of the things which we are considered as social universals. Generalized culture. Cultural generality refers to regularities that occur in different times and places, but not in all cultures. Cultural generalities may be explained by diffusion of cultures from one place to another. It could be through contacts, trades, wars, etc., or by independent invention. This means two or more societies may invent or create similar cultural beliefs or practices independently, not by copying or imitation. Examples for this include nuclear family, monogamy, strictly control over women's virginity, etc. are the best examples. Then we have localized cultures. These are cultural traditions which are unique to only few societies. They occur rarely. For example, homosexualism or lesbianism as a way of life. Polyandrous marriage practices is another important one, where we can once the Toda tribes are practicing polyandry system of marriage system. The Nayars of the Kerala is also one of the best example. Nowadays, the polyandry system is not existing. Over a period of time, it has vanished. Now, another example is Gothul, that is dormitory among the central Indian tribes. Gothul, where it is an economic organization also we can call, where the after the children become grown up, that is once breastfeeding is over, the children will go to the Gothul and learn of different type of activities over there, songs, dances, folk songs, folklore and folk tales, and also economy, agriculture, etc., etc. They will be learning in the Gothul. It is a unique localized culture exists among the aborigines, not only in India, all over the world. In India, there are varieties of cultures we may be treated as localized cultures. For example, another example is the practice of worshipping little traditional gods. Marriage by capture among the Bonda tribe and Didai tribe could be localized cultures. Not only the different type of practices, but also the how they will be living day to day life is also localized cultures, which you can see among the some of the marriage rituals performed a different way of life. Subcultures is an important aspect. Within a larger society, there can be subcultures, which are distinctive set of standards and behavior pattern by which a group with a larger society operates. The best examples I want to give here is the Mukkalattar community in Tamil Nadu. This Mukkalattar forms Kallar, Maravar and Thevar. Thevar community is a dominant community in Tamil Nadu. Kallar, Maravar, Thevar, these three communities put together we call as Mukkalattar. Is one of the best example, as though they are one, but they have the distinct divisions. That is, endogamous level, they are divided into different communities. That is, although they are multi-ethnic, but they form as a one group as a Mukkalattar. That is one of the best examples. Another important aspect of culture is ethnic group culture. Ethnic groups are people who collectively and publicly identify themselves as a distinct group based on various cultural features such as shared ancestry and common origin, language, customs, and traditional beliefs. In India, we have different ethnic groups identified by themselves. They are unique. They are totally different from one another. For example, you take the Todas of Nilgiris, they are totally different. Their culture is different. Economy is different. Language is different. In the same way, you come to the central India, we have the Baiga tribe. Their way of life, their culture is totally different. And they have the different ancestor. They claim their ancestry from different animistic way of life they are leading. They believe in animism. And if you go into the Maramnagas of Northeast, they have a different lifestyle and different way of life, political system, economic system, and cultural way of life. Then you come into the Rajis tribe of Himalayan region, where the Rajis are living differently. This is a different cultural group. Their songs, dances, their culture, their way of life is totally different. In the same way, if you come into the Jain Kurubas of Mysore, that is Karnataka region, where they are depending on the forest and forest produce. So if you look into these aspects of ethnic groups in India, they have their own cultural identities. Apart from the tribes, in the caste populations also, we have identification of their own. Their origin, their folklore, folk stories, and the ancestry and the family gods are all different. So it is a ethnic culture. By looking at some people, we can say these people are belong to particular culture. If you look into the Todas, we can say these people are the Toda tribe, based on the culture. So that is the important. Another important one which I have done in Gujarat, that is the Siddhi tribe. They are totally different, racially different, and their way of life is different. But they are living within in India along with the other populations. So that is the uniqueness of ethnic cultures. Another important one is the multi-ethnic culture. What it means, multi-ethnic cultures? It means pluralistic societies or multi-ethnic are examples by which two or more ethnic groups or nationalities are politically organized into one territorial state but maintain their cultural differences. Here, which I wanted to bring your kind attention, that is one of the important study conducted by Oscar Lewis in North India, that is caste and judgmany system in a North Indian village. That is a judgmany system. It indicates caste hierarchy in the village. That means we have almost all the villages, not only North India, in South India, everywhere in India, we can find multi-ethnic villages. Multi-ethnic villages, that is different caste, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra, different caste people living together in a one village and sharing their economy, everything. But they have the cultural identity separately. They have the rituals, their way of life cycle ceremonies are different from each caste or a community. So that is what we can say multi-ethnic cultures. As though they are living in one village, they are different cultures, but together in a village, they will represent in village festivals, village folk songs, village dances. That is the uniqueness of the multi-ethnic cultures. Then another one is the cultural shock. Cultural shock is the psychological and social maladjustment, a micro or macro level that is experienced for this first time when people encounter new cultures, elements such as new things, new ideas, new concepts, seemingly strange beliefs and practices. No person is protected from cultural shock. However, individuals vary in their capacity to adopt and overcome the influence of cultural shock. Highly ethnocentric people are exposed widely to cultural shock. On the other hand, cultural relativism may find it easy to adapt to new situation and overcome cultural shock. This is a very important one, cultural shock. Alvin Toffler's one of the beautiful book, Alvin Toffler's and Cultural Shock. The future of the society is how it will be functioning. All these things which you can able to know by reading the Alvin Toffler's book on future shock. So future shock is a wonderful book which I have taught the students in Introduction to Future Studies classes. Now let us look into the in-depth into this cultural shock. See, cultural shock is nothing but when you go to a new society or when you are exposed to a new culture, you will be get shocked. It is very not that much easy to absorb the that cultures, that food habits, that dress, that climatic conditions, etc. For example, I had been to Nova Scotia, that is Canada, that is near Antarctica region, to teach in Dalhousie University. The climatic conditions, sometimes it goes to minus 10 to 40 degrees. It is very difficult too. Only summer times, people like us, we can go from Asia to Canadian, especially Antarctica regions. When I was traveling and when I was working with the Aborigines of Canada, I find this very difficult to adopt. I am not able to adopt the food over there, climatic conditions over there, but I like the students and the teaching over there. The students are very sincere, committed, and it is really I like to teach. 5 times summer courses I have taught in Dalhousie University in Canada, but the climatic conditions are not suitable for me. That is why I am not able to go further. Since last 5 years I have stopped visiting because of the climatic conditions. So here, while working Mi'kmaq Aborigines of Canada, I find little difficulty because of not only language. For anthropologists, language is not the climatic conditions, the environmental conditions are not suitable for me, for my health. So, the cultural shock is also very important. The food habits, which I sat with the professors, and I am not able to adjust for a long time with the food of the Canada, and I had to prepare for myself food. That is also one of the important one which I want to tell you is how cultural shock happens. For example, Eskimos you bring into here our warm places, whether they can able to survive? No, it is not possible. So that is why that cultural shock always will be existing in almost all this one. In cultural relativism, we are going to discuss on this issue how the tribes of Africa faced difficulties when they have been shifted as a specimens to European countries. All these things comes under the unit of cultural shock. Then another important aspect of culture is language and culture. Some important concepts and issues relating to language and culture are briefly discussed in this class too. Also already I have discussed in this. In the section subfields of anthropology dealing with linguistic anthropology. Here it will suffice to mention few important points I want to mention here. Language is one of the corner stones of national identity, of cultural unity and of community cohesion. Old languages with holistic roots and languages spoken by threatened minorities are nurtured and fostered by their spoken people. But languages can also be a weapon in cultural conflict and in political strife. Language defined as a system of verbal and in many cases written symbols with rules about how those symbols can be strung together to convey more complex meanings is the distinctive capacity and possession of humans. It is a key element of culture. Culture encompasses language, and through language, culture is communicated and transmitted. Without language, it will be impossible to develop, elaborate, and transmit culture to the future generations. So, language plays a very important role for the spreading of the culture, and cultural inheritance is very important. Culture and its influence on people's behavior. Culture is both public and individual, both in the world and in people's mind. Anthropologists are interested in not only in public and collective behavior, but also in how individuals think, feel, and act. The individual and cultures are linked because human social life is a process in which individuals internalize the meaning of public, that is, cultural message. Individuals influence culture either alone or in groups by converting their private understandings into public expressions. In short, the cultural values, norms, beliefs, and practices of a group of people or any social group are related to the specific behavioral and character aspects of the individual persons who is a part of that culture. Culture and the behaviors of individual persons in group or society are intimately tied together. Individuals usually behave, act, think, and view things according to the general cultural values, norms, beliefs of the group to which they belong. People's character and personality types are mainly the reflections of their own cultures. Cultural relativism. Every society has its own culture, which is more or less unique. Every culture contains its own unique pattern of behavior, which may seem alien to people from other cultures' background. We cannot understand the practice and beliefs separately from the wider culture of which they are part. A culture has to be studied in terms of its own meaning and values. Cultural relativism describes a situation where there is an attitude of respect for cultural differences rather than condemning other people's cultures as uncivilized, backward. Cultural relativism may be regarded as the opposite side of ethnocentrism. However, there is some problem with the arguments of behavior in a particular culture should not be judged by the standard of another. This is because of its extremeness. It argues that there is no superior international or universal morality. Now, I wanted to summarize all the three lessons we learnt about the concept of culture. The concept of culture has been defined in quite several ways. There are as many as definitions as there are written in the fields of anthropology or sociology. One of the most often cited definitions of culture was the one formulated by the British anthropologist by the name Edward Tylor. His definition basically equates culture with all the habits and capabilities that a person acquires as a member of a group. The important features of culture are the culture in all encompassing, it is the socially learned, it seizes nature, it is adaptive and maladaptive, is stable yet change, is shared, is symbolic, is specific and general, is shared patterned, and peoples use it creatively. All human beings are cultured. There is no cultural superiority or inferiority among the societies. However, all people to some extent tend to regard their own cultural values and norms as better and somewhat normal or natural. This tendency is called ethnocentrism. On the other hand, we need to realize that every cultural trait is associated with the culture. Finally, we can say culture is a set of beliefs, practices, and symbols that are learned or shared together. They form all encompassing, integrated whole that binds peoples together and shape their worldview and life phase. Thank you very much for sharing my knowledge with you people. Hope we will see you again in the next class. Thank you very much for hearing this. With this, we are concluding the third part of concept of culture. Thank you for hearing.